All right, Pro Dumpster Diver back at it again. What we're doing today is we are going to finally put these in acid. It took me about an entire 2 weeks to peel the plastics off of these cell phone boards, each of them, and there are thousands in here. So what I did is that since they're a bit sticky on the side, I decided to peel them together on the backs of each other there and separate them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them in acid. However, I got to make sure they're not too densely populated there. So what we're going to end up doing is taking these bad boys right here and putting them in, but making sure they're a little bit separate right now. We're going to put them in here just to make sure that I got enough like that. It's like holding cards with this right now to make sure this is done correctly. Because I want to make sure the acid is going to get into all of these pieces here. That's why it's a bit difficult to properly do. So we're going to split these bad boys up. It's taking forever to do that right there. Splitting them apart. Oh my goodness. You got to make sure that you're doing this right now to keep them separate. Okay? You got to make sure you're doing this here. All right, good. Let's put these in. Put this in here. Okay, so we're going to put those in here like this, and we're going to get these ones that we broke up here, and we're going to put them side by side with a little bit of space. And I want to make sure we have space in this here right now, which is very important. So what we're doing is we're just peeling these right here because there's a lot of gold on this. This is going to be a bit difficult to put on there. Just like that. Actually, put these here like that, and then perfect. That's all I go. Okay, and push this a bit up here. I do want to give all of that a bit of room. Whoa, that SD card back. As you can see, there's a very large amount of gold on this here. Gotta flake that up, push that up to the side there, and then bad boy sit. You want to put some in the corner though. Go down to my benefit. Okay. Alright, so this set is done. Now, one of the things I could do is I could put other pieces here just like that in order to make sure that that goes in fully and it gets to everything there. Alright, preparing this is just so much so. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the acid in there. Once I have all of this, if you guys want to skip forward the video, you can. Okay, see this one wasn't on, so I'm going to peel this out, and just like that, that's how I had to peel each and every single one of these pieces off right here. Alright, now that one's done, and I have to introduce this one here. Boy, let me tell you something. The work you gotta do in order to make money. Alright, so we got this so far, and what we're going to do is we spread these here, and now we can pour our acid in it. But before we do that, I do want to end up putting some more pieces there. The stuff does look a bit dense right now, and the acid's going to have to hit it. So we're going to take some of this out. If you look at it, it does look a bit dense in there. So we're going to take some out, and then let's put this here like that, and then we'll pour some of these, just scatter them about in there. Now, scatter these like that. Well, separate. And then we're going to have another container full of our pieces there. Right now, just a little small container full of it. Okay. And so this little container is what we'll put acid in right now. What we actually can do is we don't have to put anything on this at all, actually. We can pour the acid directly here. So what we're going to do is we begin our acid pour. The stuff is a bit dense there, so I'll take a bit more out and just scatter that up. Now we will begin the pour of our acid. Where is my pail bucket? Someone move my bucket. Oh, there it is. Alright. So we will begin our acid pour. With this right now, we will pour in our hydrogen peroxide acid here. Okay, and then we will pour in our muriatic acid, which is right here. Pop a hole in that little bad boy. Okay, and now we are going to pour this in. And the reason why is I want to make sure that this goes over everything, okay? So we have this here, and we're going to pour in our content. All right. Now, here's the thing to remember. One, you see this? You want to make sure that this is pushed in. Okay, you want all the gold hitting. All right, and then two, you want to make sure it does actually cover it, but the problem is of small things like evaporation, okay, which is very, very important. Now, for some reason, if you look here, you can actually see there's a lot of bubbles coming from this side right there, okay, and it is sizzling. Make sure when you guys do this, you have your good container, okay, and I do need to make sure that all of it is covered, because if it's not covered, it's going to end up being a problem. Okay, so I'm going to pour the rest of the muriatic acid on both sides there, and that's it. It has to be fully covered. Okay, and that's what we have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cover, which is the white cover, and put right over it, and that's it. That's it. That is done. Woo! Area's crazy. Now we got to do this one here. This one here we have to make sure we finish, because I want to put everything in one time. Okay. Da-da-da. Set it up. Spit it up. Okay, whoa, whoa. See, I don't like that. That's not good. This is not good. So this one hasn't been peeled off at all. That's why it's good to go over this before you melt, so you can double check everything. Split it up, split it up. Gotta make sure all of this stuff falls into the right thing here. Okay, a whole bunch here. Okay, split this here, split this here. Okay, and I'm making sure that this is done because this is how we got to be able to actually do this here. Take this up, make sure this is frilly. Okay, put this out, and then what we're going to do is, once we get that, I know it's a long video, but I want to show you guys how to do this here. Split that up, put this in. Split this up again, make it frilly, put it in. Split it up. Split it up, make it frilly. Move the SD cards there. Okay. Split it up, make it frilly. Put this here. All right. Oh God, I might actually throw some in the other bucket. If this, see, there we go. There's a frickin' another one that wasn't done. It's not good. I gotta go back and peel those there. All right, and I don't want to make this too densely populated here. Okay, so always put a little bit of space in that right there. Take a few more of these bad boys. And throw that right in there. Okay, put that right there. And the good part is for this one, I'm not going to need an entire gallon, which is great. Okay, and I can throw some right here on the side actually. This is not bad. I can put some on the side right there, you know, just like that. And then, yeah, leave that like that. And that's, I mean, that's it. And I can just take these and put them into the other container there. And then that's it. And so now what we have to do is we have to put the acid in here. However, one, always look around the plastic containers for any holes, any leaks, any cracks, or anything like that, which is very important. Once you've done that and checked it out, it doesn't have much there. All right, you're good to go. You go ahead and check everything up there. All right, now we're putting it in. So how much do we need? For this one, to be honest, we don't need much. I'm only going to end up putting in a small amount of peroxide here. And a good amount of muriatic, because this is a small container. Okay. So you can watch and see I'm putting it in now. And I need to make sure that when I pour it in, this one is final. It actually goes over everything and it covers everything. So that's why I'm putting in this much. Okay. And what we're going to do is, since we have our covers, we're going to put everything in here. And I don't think this is enough, actually. That's not enough. All right, so I need to make sure that I pour in a good amount in here. But the problem is it has to still yet cover everything. And I need to make sure that it does, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to pour the muriatic acid, and it's going to be a different one there. All right. So now let's go ahead and make sure this covers everything. And I'm hoping it does, because if it doesn't, we're going to have a problem. And just covers it. It just covers it there. All right, so I'm happy that now she saw that there. So we're going to pour in our final amount to make sure it covers the big stuff. And boom, that's it. We got it. The reason why I had to put less into this is just because this is a smaller container. Okay, so now we have that and we're done. All right, I want to make sure that our container can cover this, and you always use plastics because they're a lot easier to move. Also, whenever you get the containers, make sure it has a ridge so no rainwater gets into it. And that's it. That's it. We're done. That's all. Okay, guys, have any questions? Put them in the comments below. Dumpster Diver out.